Alright, gonna work on the old truck pickup bed today, and let me show you what we're gonna do before we do it, in case I forget. I want to do some work on the back here, and well, actually it's the front, right? Alright, so we're gonna do some work on the front here today, and I'm gonna try and complete some of the stuff I did, like all these little patches that I did. I'm gonna grind them down and put a thin coat of fiberglass on there, and then maybe we'll work up here. This was reinforced with a 1/4-inch piece of steel, so I'm going to grind that down. It doesn't have to be a 1/4-inch thick, you know. I mean, the rest of the truck is only 20 thousandths, probably about an eighth. No, not even 20 thousandths, probably 16. No, yeah, let's go with 18. All right, the rest of the truck is probably 18 gauge, so still the same, but 16 to 1/8. But anyway, we're going to grind that down a little bit. And I don't know if you see in here, but all this stuff here is seam sealer, and I'm going to chip that out all the way down and fill that in with fiberglass putty too. And then we'll try and sand this down. Here's something cool. I don't know if you guys can see this, because I'm looking at a screen here with the glare and the sun and everything. But right here, you see the letters L and M. And then over here is like a circle and some initials. What that is that's originally from the factory. You know, that's the color of the truck. That's the color code, LM. If you check that, it'll tell you exactly what color this truck was originally. And they probably put that on with a soapstone or something. That way when I come into the paint booth, the guy look at that and they spray it. So they spray right over that, because they know this is never going to be seen. And paint just don't stick to that kind of stuff. So a little bit of history there. So we gotta sand that down, get rid of that. And then down here, all this is surface rust. So I'm gonna hit that with a wire wheel and and maybe some muriatic acid or something, and then we'll put some frame paint on there. And that's it. That's a plan. And then we'll sand the whole back, sand the whole thing. But we're probably not gonna get to that today. It's lunchtime right now, so we're only talking a couple hours. So for now, my main goal is the main goal. I think I said mole. My main goal is to grind them down, get fiberglass on them, and maybe wire wheel that and paint it up. And then maybe we'll get to that. So, all right, let's do some work. Enough jibber jabbing, right? All right. It's been a long day. I just got done putting all the tools away. Yeah, I got this all ground down and all the seam sealer picked out of there and cleaned up and everything, and even this ground out, and got fiberglass putty over that. So now all I got to do is smooth that out with 80-degree DA. 80 grit. I was trying to say 80 grit DA, but been a long day, like I say. So alright, yeah, I think it's going to look good without the seam there, even though you're not going to see it. Like I say, this whole back thing don't get seen, so I'm happy with it. Alright, I'm going to finish cleaning up, because I got a little dirt bike and daddy dirt bike coming over tonight, so we'll see you tomorrow maybe. Alright, it's another day, and going to work on the old truck again, and I think what we're going to do today is on this side. Let me show you what we already did. On this side, we ground down all the way down to the seam and welded this seam together, and then put the fiberglass over it. That way we did away with that. That seam has no function at all, other than when they put this piece on from the factory. So we're going to grind all the way down here and grind all this out, and we'll weld this piece to the truck, and then I think we're going to address this here. This is where they added on an extra little flare for the cover that went down here. There was a fiberglass, it had no bumper, and they had a fiberglass valance, if you call it that, So what they did is they took metal, and this used to have a swale in here from the factory, from down here up, and it was a factory swale, and they just covered it with a piece of metal, and they actually riveted it on, and then did body work over it. So I'm not, like I said before, I don't want to get into all this body work here. No need to, and I'm happy with the look of that. So I'm going to cut this extra piece of fiberglass and flare they have on there, and then try and weld that metal that they have to the extension here, and then make that right. And also up here, they looks like they had a problem. They have a big 1/4-inch piece of steel here, and then you can't see it, but under here there's a piece of steel. So this is probably a little compromise. So we'll grind that away, see what's going on, and address that problem. So for now, let's just grind this away, and we'll show you how I'm going to tack that up. Alright, yeah, I ground down the area here, and I run into another issue. Here's something I want to show you. Right, this truck, I can't see because it's such a bad glare, but hopefully you guys can see. Alright, this truck is close to 60 years old, probably 58 years old or so. So by the grinding here, you can see on the metal, you have original primer, and you got a paint job. Then somebody came and sealed the whole thing and painted it again, and then someone must have over the years sealed it again or painted it and primed it with gray, and then painted it again. So this truck has had 3 paint jobs. But this corner here, you know, you look at it and you say, you know, why did some spots have so much putty? And it actually isn't putty. It was fiberglass. So whoever did this job did it right. You know, I got to give him kudos for that. And he did it good. Whoever did this was a good body man. And this corner here must have been hit with a, you know, something must have landed on a tree or something like that. And they sort of reconstructed the top of it. And this looks thick and everything, but the thick parts, where they had to put thick parts, they used fiberglass, and it did its job. I don't know if you can tell the difference in color here, but all this gray is fiberglass, and then you only have that's even thinner than it looks because that's cut on an angle. So that white is a very thin layer of body putty. So whoever did this did it right. But as I was grinding and I came up top here, I'm going to get on a stool, but while I'm down here, let me show you what I run into over here. This whole corner, we've seen the 1/4-inch piece of steel here. I'm going to cut that off, but this whole side was compromised, and this here was sort of rotted out. So it was probably damaged for a while to rot out like that. And whoever did this, behind here is a piece of steel, and it's about 1/4 inch, and this is fiberglass. So this did its job, you know. Nothing came through that, and it's solid, you know. But I'm gonna redo the whole thing. I'm gonna cut this whole thing out and put a whole piece and shape it a piece of maybe 14 gauge. But let me get a stool and we'll get up top. I'll show you what's going on up there. All right, we're up top here, and you can see there was rot holes here, but they filled it with fiberglass, and it did its job. It kept it from getting bigger and rotting out, and it strengthened it. And here's another piece I didn't poke out yet, but whoever did this did it right. And to make this right, this is higher than everything else. That's why the whole side here, this whole top is probably done with fiberglass. So, like I say, the guy did it right. And we don't know the conditions he did it under. We don't know if he had to do it for somebody, or somebody didn't have money and he was doing him a favor or something. We don't know, but he actually welded the seam together right here. So we just ran into something that we're just going to have to address. and that's it. So I'm gonna cut this whole area out here and reconstruct it. So that's what, you know, somebody says grind the whole truck bed down and everything, you know, and who knows what you're gonna run into. Whoever did this did it right, and I'm just gonna fix the damaged areas, and we'll go with that. So I have a truck that looks good and I'm driving, you know. Plus this is only the bed, you know, who cares about the bed? So that's where we're at. And then after I reconstruct all this and everything, we'll come back and we'll rip out all the seam sealer there. So you see, even down here you can see the seam sealer was actually falling out, fell out. Alright, let me work on this. Just something else we hadn't planned on, but it's gotta get fixed. Alright, before I get the welder out and put that patch in and everything else, I'm taking the seam sealer out here, and I want to show you. Right here I took some seam sealer out already, up here, and you can actually see, if I get the right angle, there you go, you can actually see that panel's put on. You know, they were only spot welded at the factory, and that gap is almost as wide as my finger. So I'm going to throw you on a tripod and I'll show you how I get the seam sealer out. It comes out pretty easy because it's actually hard and brittle. Alright, yeah, all I'm using is a small pick and a small right angle pick and a little baby hammer. Like I say, this stuff is old and dried out. You know, it's pretty much pops itself out. See, it just chips out. Don't work one way, you try it the other. Here's a little section sort of taken out. See, it pops out real easy. You hit at different angles, it helps too. But then there's going to come a point where your straight one is too big. And we get this one here and that gets it all. There you go. Just got to work it. Alright, I don't know if you can see this top line, but I got to do this whole top line. That's 6 foot long. Dig all that out of there, and then we'll fill that with fiberglass, but we ain't gonna do that now. I'm just gonna keep cleaning this one out so we can weld that up. Alright, you guys take a break and we'll turn you back on when we get ready to weld it up. Alright, yeah, I got that all cleaned out, and I got one more step before I weld it, but I did it down here. I cleaned both sides of it, so this is all ready to weld up down here. But you know, after I look at this, I think I may just grind this all the way down and take that plate that they have on the back off. Let me show you why, because down here they just have it coming down to, that's a pretty good size piece of metal there. But anyway, they just had it come down here and never really finished it. So I think it'd be just easy enough to take that all out, and where that swale is, maybe I'll just fill that swale in, we'll see. But for now, I think maybe we'll just grind that down and see what's going on. That's why these projects take so long, you know. I mean, one thing leads to another, and you know, next thing you know, you're fixing everything on the truck, even though you don't want to. So alright, let me throw you back on the tripod and I'll show you how we clean the inside of that groove. Alright, I got this 80 grit, you know, it's not that aggressive, and it's a real thin piece of sandpaper, whatever you call it, and it fits in that groove pretty nice, and that'll help us do some welding. So it don't take much, just think I forgot to tell you to put your headphones on, your earphones, earplugs, but you'll be alright. Let me clean up this side and then we'll be ready. I think before I get the welder out, I think I'm going to tear this piece off here down. Where you at? Let me tilt this down. Nope, that don't work. Alright, well anyway. Let me turn these around here so I can see. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to grind that back piece off and before I get the welder out. And go from there. Alright. Alright, yeah, we ground that off and it's not too bad. I got the piece of metal off of there. That might even been a piece of the kit, you know, they might have included that with the kit to actually rivet that on and for the custom valance. But we don't need that because we got a bumper. So this here is a dent and that's filled with fiberglass. If this was body putty, I'd dig it all out, but you know, fiberglass is good. You know, they actually make cars out of that stuff. Cars, boats, you name it, airplanes. So fiberglass is good, and I'm going to leave that. I'm going to do the body work over it, but that's going to stay filled. And here's the bottom where that swale was, and I cut around and came all the way to good metal, and I'm going to leave that in there. That's just one big chunk I don't have to fill. It looks worse than it is. That swale is only about 1/4 of an inch. I put. Let me get over here. Oh, sorry about the camera work there. I was leaning over. But I put a piece of cardboard here just to see, and it's probably maybe 1/4 inch in some spots and maybe 3/8 in the deepest. So that's not bad at all. You know, I was gonna weld a piece of metal there to fill that swale in, but I'm gonna stick with fiberglass. You know, I mean, I'm fine with that. And like I said, the rest of it, I got a couple of holes here I gotta fix, and then it should be good. All right, let me continue on. I gotta put that hole in. I gotta fix that, and then we'll get to welding. All right. Started welding this up here, and even a patch. I put a little patch in it. Yeah, you can't see that, but it's how you weld sheet metal so you don't blow a hole through it. And you can't apply too much heat or you're going to warp it. I'm not worried too much about warping this panel because I'm at both ends here. But you just give it like maybe 5 little tacks, then you go another area, 5 little tacks, and you can also just hit it with a little air. But you don't want to get it too hot. So let's see what we do here. See, it looks like I missed the other side here. That's my fault. That's what happens. You work out in the sun here and you get glare off of your helmet. So to keep them overheating, you can go down to another area. And keep connecting the dots. Sometimes you hate to stop it because you get into it. But like I say, you don't want too much heat on this stuff. And if you see you missed a spot, you know, you just come back. But Yeah, my biggest problem is seeing right now because of the sun. But if you're inside, you shouldn't have any trouble with that. So I'm gonna finish stitching this up and then do the back, and then we'll put some fiberglass on it. Alright, yeah, we're happy the way it turned out. A couple areas there got little titties on them because it's a little windy out and it must have been blowing my argon away. So I'm gonna hit this with a light grinder, and then we'll slap some fiberglass on this thing. I forgot to mention, if you guys work under a truck or anything, get yourself one of these fiberglass blankets. The welding blankets, fireproof. They keep you from getting burned up, like I say, especially when you're working under the trucks or cars, wherever you're working under. I always leave a link for these blankets in the description, so check it out. Alright, let me do some grinding here and then mix up some putty. It's getting late. Alright, mix up some fiberglass and put it on here. It feels like it's hardening up, yep. Yeah, hardened good, wow. Alright, yeah, it's something, I'm trying something new only because that's all the guy had. This is what I've been using. I've been using this for years. You know, and I know how well that works. That's Dynaglass, you know, and there's another company that makes this stuff and it's almost identical to that. I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now, but I never tried this stuff here. And it goes on a lot nicer. I mean, it went on like butter, but I'm not so sure it has as much fiber in there, you know, as this new stuff, you know, or this old stuff here. So let me show you what it is. All right, this is what I use, and I used it for years. And you see, it's called Dynaglass, and you can actually see the fibers, you know, and it's thick, you know. I mean, not so thick you can't mix it, but thick that you know your hand hurts after you get done mixing it. And this is the stuff I got now. I think I would have turned this around before I opened it. It's made by U-Paul, and I've used their stuff before. I've used their paint and putty, you know, and it's okay. But I've never used this. Any of you guys use this? Let me know what you think about it. Like I say, let me take a scoop of this. You know, it's so thin, I can't even scoop it out here. You know, and you can see it doesn't look like it has much fiber in there. So I don't know. You guys, let me know. Anybody use it? Let me know, because I don't know. You know, I'm stuck with this now. And another thing, you know, they keep making these smaller and smaller. This is a gallon, but if you look at it, it says 0.8 gallons. So it's a gallon can, but they only fill it so high. Same with this. I don't know if that's 3 liter or what. I don't know what that is. But this can is actually smaller than the gallon can. Probably can't tell there, but this can almost fit inside of this one. That's what it is, man. That's where they're going. Shrinkflation, they call that. Alright, like I say, I mean, that stuff it mixes like butter, but and goes on nice. And it seems to harden okay, but you know, wow, boy, that hardens. That hardened. I don't know. I guess I mixed it right. They don't even give you instructions for mixing. They give you a picture, and God only knows what that picture means. There you go, mixing ratio, 3%. You know, it has a little thing up there and a plus. I don't know. I don't know what that means. So I just I mixed it similar to what I mixed this stuff. It smells the same, but I don't know. The verdict is out. Some of you body guys out there, let me know. Let me know what you think. Alright, let me keep mixing this and putting it on and hope it works. Alright, I finished putting that stuff on. I don't know. Some of you guys, you're professional guys that do it. Let me know. Jerry, guys that used it. Let me know. Let me know if it's garbage or what, because man, it was just so loose. It was like messing with diarrhea or something. Look at it. It's all falling off the bottom, all dripping on the ground. See, I did this other side with a dining glass, and you know, it went on nice and tight and stayed, and you know. So yeah, you guys don't tell me what you use. I don't care what you use. That don't do me any good. You know, I got to use what I can get hold of, and this just happens to be what it is. Now I just got to find out if it's any good or if it's garbage or what, or if it lasts. So let me know, some of you pros out there. Alright, I don't know where we're going from here. I don't know how long this video is, but we'll do something. Alright, yeah, this video is getting a little too long to start anything else. It's the next day. This stuff hardened up really nice. Huh. So I guess the next video, we'll try to get this back done. I'll sand or grind down that fiberglass, and we'll put some body putty on there and smooth it out, and then maybe sand out the rest of this. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. Alright. What do you guys say? Enough of this? See you later.